Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Can I just say something real quick before we get started?
You can say whatever you want.
No.
You have a microphone.
We have an hour. There's not enough time.
I worked really hard on that new intro video, and like, I don't like the fact that Tom doesn't have a part anymore. Like, we're 3 weeks in on it. I hate it.
That's okay.
I don't like it.
I mean, that's up to you.
I mean, it gets me excited whenever I don't know what kind of one fall I'm gonna get from Tom. I thought that, like,
I will make it a point to record a guitar theme, and we can redo it.
Like, it bums me out.
Well, we can redo it.
I'll just cut out the one fall thing at the end. I mean,
no. I gotta record. I gotta do a whole thing. It's gonna be a thing. Let me do it.
Yeah. Hey, have at it, pal. I'm all for it.
Oh, I'm mad.
I just
keep tuning in. Eventually, one week there's going to be a nice new intro.
Yeah, I don't know. It just bums me out.
I need to be able to plug. I just need to plug a guitar into the little mod. I just need to plug it into my computer. I have not plugged an electric guitar into my computer since I've moved it upstairs, and but I've got all the stuff. I can.
You got a nice setup, pal.
Here you go.
I'll throw a little mealy in there. It'll be. See, now I'm overhyping it.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
We'll do the diddly doos because that's the best part of our intro right now. So diddly do in there.
The diddly doos.
Yes, please.
All of it.
So, gentlemen, how are we doing?
Pretty good.
Great. Great times.
I'm getting furniture this week.
I got furniture today.
You did. You came to visit me. It was nice. You got coffee too.
Hell yeah, we had a good cup of coffee, pal.
A cup of coffee. We had some furniture. It was good.
Yeah. Guess who missed out on that fun? Yeah, that
Tom
guy
wouldn't let me. He said I had COVID. He doesn't believe I wear masks enough.
That's not what happened. Derek just
actually I had a little
didn't pick up the phone and just said, "Fuck this, guys."
No, there's a little family emergency in the good old basement flooded, and I had to take care of that.
Yeah,
It happens. It's what it is. Yeah. Thank you, Mother Nature. It said that doesn't work for me today, brother.
Hey, but do you know what the highlight of my trip to Tom's house today was? Got a little table and chairs for the little one. Oh, dude,
are they stoked about it?
So pumped, bro.
That's so good.
Pumped. I told you they would be.
That's good. Like, my kids are just like too big for it. They bang their knee. Like, it was too much. But like, they loved it for years and for years. This was like their favorite thing, and so it's good. I'm glad somebody else is getting some good use out of it because my kids will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, he was pumped.
It's great.
Super pumped. Hey, so something kind of big happened this week.
Something
big
show.
Some kind of It
was a big show.
It was a large event.
It was a large, something very large.
It was a giant program.
Yeah, seemed to be one of the largest athletes ever.
So by now, everybody already knows that one Paul Wight has signed with AEW as a feature commentator on their new YouTube show, which is going to be called AE Dark Elevation. And apparently it's going to go up on YouTube's live on Monday at 8 o'clock. It's interesting.
Hold on. Can I pause you for 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I saw that Paul Wight had gone to AEW, first of all, my first reaction is, what the hell is happening in the world right now?
Right? Me too.
The second thing that I saw was that he was coming as a commentator, and my next thought was, is everybody drunk at AEW?
Yeah.
All the time? They've been hitting a little bit too much of the bubbly?
I kind of assume they are, to be honest with you. I mean, we all know JR gets drunk all the time.
So he was definitely drunk on Wednesday.
What you're telling me is they took one of the biggest, most impressive looking human beings. You could stand next to anybody, and it's immediately impressive and shocking. And the biggest dude since Andre the Giant, a guy who would literally tower. He's like 4 times the size of Darby Allin, right? And you're telling me they're going to take this man, put a headset on him, stick him behind a desk, and just let him talk?
It's a hybrid contract.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
He does have it in there that he'll do some matches. So,
Oh,
it'll be
okay.
at least, hopefully a match where, maybe they feed him to Lance Archer or something so that he can actually act like a murder hawk monster and have some credibility instead of coming out and getting his ass kicked for
What
the
are the
first
chances?
10 matches.
Derek, let's be serious about this. What do you think the chances of that happening are going to be?
Very, very slim, actually.
Let's 1 to 10.
Hey, you know what though? They've got some wild ass booking over there, so maybe I'm going to give it a
They have
5.
drunk booking.
I'll give it a 5. This could happen.
Drunk, but more likely, what I think is going to happen is Paul Wight's going to have to sell for Marco Stunt, but he's also going to throw him really far.
This is a perfect example of what you love. Dudes throwing other dudes.
I do love dudes. if they let Paul Wight take Marco Stunt and like throw him into Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus like a baseball, I might be there for that.
You know what's going to be crazy is I bet you Paul Wight would make Luchasaurus look small if they actually put them in the same ring.
Oh, probably.
So I bet you they avoid that like the plague, because right now Luchasaurus looks like huge in there compared to these guys.
Like 6'3". He's got like 5 inches on every wrestler.
There's nothing to him. He's everybody else in his group is under 5 foot.
The mental picture of the Big Show selling for Marco Stunt.
Don't act like he's not going to take a Hurricane Rana.
Oh yeah, there'll be something.
Don't act like he's not going to take a Hurricane Rana from Marco Stunt.
Here's the thing, though. Big Show's in the best shape of his career right now. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm not saying Big Show can't take her. Like taking a Hurricane Rana is like he literally has to flip himself. It's not a matter of like the momentum of Marco Stunt is gonna throw Big Show. Like that's not how that works. Are you kidding me? The man, I mean,
and just give up all the secrets of how the Hurricane Rana works, Tom.
He's still 380 pounds plus of just monster human being.
Bro, you told the kids last week that Santa Claus wasn't real, and you're worried about a goddamn Hurricane Rana?
I'm not worried about it. I'm talking
about this little guy. Told everybody Santa Claus.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
I don't know if I said that.
Yeah, you said that. You want me to go find it?
You probably should have edited that out, but also
no, it's out there.
Our age range, we should probably have a little parental advisory thing because there's sometimes cuss words and the kids don't need to hear that.
Yeah, that's why I put.
If you're old enough to listen to cussing, you should know that Santa is not real.
That's why whenever you put it up on the old YouTube, it says, "Is this video made for kids?" No, sir, it is not.
You should put show up on YouTube. A larger fan base, maybe. Yeah, we get put on YouTube, kids. It'll be great. It comes up after Giggle Berries or Giggle Bellies, whatever they are. My kid's real into Giggle Bellies, right? Loves Peanut the Elephant. Anyway,
Big Show. So, I mean, this got some potential, maybe, right?
Hold on, because it doesn't. And I'm gonna crap on this more because this is where I'm taking the stand on this. All right. AEW fans, everybody about that bitched about, oh my God, all these old guys out in WWE, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, on AEW, we got a 60-year-old in Sting taking a powerbomb. They've now signed Paul Wight, and they're like, oh boy, we got a Big Show. What's the fucking difference? Like, what is the difference? Edge, younger than both those dudes. No, you don't get to talk. Stop. No, put your hand down. Put it down.
Mentally noting.
Edge, younger than both those dudes, in better shape, and just was overall. Edge was always a better performer than both those guys. Period. Neither Sting nor the Big Show were ever on Edge's level in any stretch of anybody's imagination. Never once. Never once in their careers. Never once. They weren't. and people are complaining about Edge. Now, the only other thing that happens is occasionally you have Hulk Hogan hobble himself out there and go, but that's fine. You know what? I don't care if Hulk Hogan comes out, gets a microphone, does the thing. Where are my Hulkamaniacs at? He ain't taking bumps. He's not taking a power bomb. Like somebody. Anyway, so I think that anybody that complained about WWE brings out all guys, that they need to just, but they're excited about Sting and the Big Show on AEW. They should just shut up now. It's time to shut up about it because all of that has been made moot.
Wow, bro,
So,
you just
basically,
Sting.
Fuck you, Tom. You are completely wrong. There's definitely a good reason why this should be going on because
Sting gets blown up by YouTube.
There's a million other people that I would rather see. A million other guys back in the back that get a chance to do absolutely nothing every week. They sit at home. They sit in catering. They're doing nothing. They're young, better guys.
Dude, Chad Gable was on Friday. Apollo Crews was on Friday. Who else do you want to see?
Where's Aleister Black?
Where's
Ricochet?
on Friday?
Ricochet's sometimes on. He's doing nothing.
Yeah, he was on Monday.
Pretty Ricky
Yeah, he was.
on
Pretty
Monday.
Ricky was on Monday. Yeah.
Primetime spot too, pal.
Who do you want to see?
Angel Garza, primetime spot, pal.
Mustafa Ali was out there this week.
Yeah.
He was there.
He was pissed.
Who
they lost. Anyway, hold on. No. We're gonna get off track. I gotta. All right. So there is nobody in AEW that I would rather see than these guys. It's not like I want fucking Joey Janela to come out here. Do you want to see Joey Janela? Because that's what you're gonna get. If you don't have Big Show, you get Joey Janela. Because they got nobody else.
Counter, and there was going to be a 1-3.
It was up to 3. We had 3.
It was not.
It was up to 3. Yeah.
We were doing so good, and you brought this out of me, Tom. It was you
this week.
God,
you had to. Not only did you be like you're beating a dead horse, bringing up Joey Janela.
Wow,
a dead horse, and you're beating him.
That horse had a pulse.
We get more airtime than Joey Janela. I mean, we do it ourselves, but we have more airtime than Joey Janela.
No, he should make his own company then if he thinks he's so damn good.
He's not. He doesn't. I don't think. I don't know.
Exactly.
Hey, so
what's your point?
What's your point?
My point is that in WWE, they have a plethora of talent that they could use in place of their legends that they go back to the freaking well to constantly. Well, come on, brother. Yeah, I don't care. Unless you're Mick Foley, I don't care. Come out here with your Cactus Jack shirt on and a flannel, and let's fucking go. But
hey, speaking
in AEW, they don't have anybody to bring up like that. They've got the Hollywood Blondes that they're trying to work on right now, or the Varsity Blondes. I'm sorry. But, like, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel here. We're really short on talent, and you're trying to have AEW Dark and AEW, Evolution or whatever it's going to be called.
We want to talk about short on talent. AEW Dark is rough.
Yeah, so they've got room. They've got, space to expand their, legends that they can bring in and at least fill some time. Whenever you've got
other companies.
Yeah. It's fine.
I mean, at least
you know what you get.
To be fair, at least the legends. I mean, I guess Big Show was with WWE for 25 years. The legends have been WCW legends, though. So I don't know. I'm sure if Macho Man was still alive, they'd already brought him back.
Oh,
but
for sure.
Oh, somebody would have had him. Yeah,
they would
have had him under contract.
Resurrect him. Zombie Macho Man. Could you? I
maybe we can get a hologram.
Zombie Macho.
Whenever we have the
Can we hologram? Can we do that? That would be.
Yeah, I mean, Tupac did
why
it.
not? They did it with Paul Bearer.
Yeah. Did they?
And Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And Tupac.
Yeah.
I think Macho Man fits in that list.
He definitely is on that level.
100%.
So, do we agree that they should hologram Macho Man?
Yes.
But we don't agree that Legends. Everybody needs to shut up about Legends.
Legends are acceptable in AEW because they've got nothing else going on for them.
Okay, so it's only
this is some.
it's okay. It's okay when AEW does it.
Right.
Yeah.
WWE
In this current situation, in their current environment.
But listen, this is the guy that cut a promo on the WWE Legends
WWE
night
for doing this. Yes.
on WWE
because they've
Legends
got
night.
so much
He's okay with it.
show.
He's
It's
okay
not
with it.
It's a
'Cause it's on
freaking
Wednesday night.
commentator. It's a commentator.
You know it's not. You know it's not.
In the meanwhile, you got Sting out there every Wednesday. They trot Sting out there every Wednesday, and then he goes out and he finally gets a little physical, and he's blown up after a stinger splash and a scorpion death drop.
Yeah,
like I thought Darby Allin was going to have to carry Sting out of the arena on Wednesday.
I think Sting thought the Darby Allin.
They should have just hooked him up to the thing that Darby rode down on, the zip line, and just towed his ass back.
They
up
should have hooked him up to that thing they used to lower him from the ceiling from.
Yeah.
Helped his ass.
He's all limp going back up because he's blown up.
Limp bastard. Okay, let give him some slack so he can Scorpion Death Drop. All right, pull him back up.
Yeah, he's got a kip up coming up. You know these are tricky.
Oh shit,
fellas!
Oh, he's gonna miss it. Catch it.
Yeah, that was rough, pal. I'm not gonna lie, that was rough.
Mean, he maybe should have tried that out before the show and figured out. I guess he wanted to conserve his energy. I don't know how many of those you got in you in a day, so maybe you want to save it for TV. But
well, they say that bump counter, that's a real thing.
Okay,
I figure that's like
drag out a mattress
on a lawnmower.
Drag out a mattress or go to a trampoline park or something. I don't know. Can you take old people to trampoline parks? That's probably not a good idea.
Nah, probably not.
Yeah.
They probably have an age limit.
Yeah, I do think Sting exceeds the age limited trampoline park.
I mean,
probably. Yeah.
You would think Sting would exceed the age limit on the old wrestling mat there too, but apparently not.
I mean, if you set him down gently, it's probably not too bad.
I watched that again, though. I know you guys said that Cage really took care of him, and I'm not saying that he's some asshole that just landed people flat around, but I mean, he did land flat. He took it the best way possible, but it was forcefully performed for sure.
Listen, all I'm saying is if you got JR a week later saying, "Oh, he power bombed Sting and it wasn't reckless," you know that the internet community has been chatting about it. You know what else everybody seems to be chatting about? Tony Khan was unaware that Zelina Vega's non-compete clause expired, and he said that he's definitely interested in working with her.
That's because Tony Khan is generally drunk, it seems, especially when he's writing the shows. So he wouldn't have known because the words get blurry on the internet if you've had too many. So it's hard to see and put dates together when you're super hammered. And I feel like he just takes Irish car bombs to the face, and that makes it really hard to read words on the internet, especially when you're also trying to write a not so good wrestling show in the middle of it. So that's why he didn't know. However, I would love it if Zelina Vega would come and manage somebody, maybe even Aleister Black, because I don't think he's dead, right? They killed him in WWE.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure he's probably ready to fake his own death so he can get out of that contract and go somewhere else.
I mean, he could probably pull off dead, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just at home. I mean, I guess he's getting paid and just gets to hang out at home with his wife. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, she probably just streams and she's got a Twitch and there you go.
By all accounts, that I've been keeping up with this whole Aleister Black thing because obviously I'm high on the guy, but by all accounts, he's there every week, and they just choose not to use him.
He's the Guy Fieri of the roster. He just tells them how good the food is and then leaves.
I guess taking him to Flavortown, pal.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
Wait, did they
fuck? We got Philly next week. I hate their big steak.
So he's there every week, which means is he the one cooking the food then?
He's got you would figure he's got to earn a paycheck somehow. Maybe he's mopping the floors or something.
Paying him if he's showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking about the same company that paid Shawn Michaels for 4.5 years to sit at home because he lost his smile.
He did lose his smile. They paid him
mental health.
Paid him for the whole Attitude Era?
Yeah, they paid him for that entire 4 years he was gone. He made $750,000 a year to just sit at home.
Man, must be nice,
right?
Yeah.
Although to be fair, he came back in tremendous shape.
Oh yeah,
Like
probably the best run of his career when he came back from that.
I mean, tremendous. So it's not like he was sitting at home. Like, had they paid me $750,000 to just chill out at home, I would have not come back looking like Shawn Michaels.
Nah, I'd have came back. Looking like me.
I mean, not that I'd have gone out looking like Shawn Michaels either, but.
Nice.
Speaking of people looking good, man, did you guys see Christian this week with his little before and after?
I
did not see that. Nope.
So, just to touch on something else with that, somebody I'd seen in like a blog post or something was like, "Oh, they should put Christian in AEW." First of all, I hate that. Second of all, did you know Christian is part of Edge's WWE contract? That's why they're a package deal. So he's there with that, and that whole the double comeback is like a package. Obviously, Edge is the guy, but to get Edge back, like the other hitch was like, no, you got to bring Christian back too, and I need him sometimes.
Yeah, and
that's
hopefully
like,
it gets Christian in the WWE Hall of Fame, so he'll quit bitching about it.
He needs for all the dumbasses that are in the WWE Hall of Fame.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I mean, Christian is like easily the most underrated of a lot. I would put him like if we're talking about like underrated guys who of all time, not who are still alive, but like he's in that category of like Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude. Although he was the champion, Christian did hold the title. So, all fairness to Rude and Perfect, who should have held the title, both of them.
Yes,
it's a travesty, but Christian did at least hold the title. I would, yes, bring Christian. I love Christian. Bring him back.
I mean, it's fine. It adds something.
Bring him back. Give him a microphone. Let him wrestle a little bit.
Yeah,
he's fine.
The thing about those guys too is you got to remember when they debuted, they were like 19 years old.
Yeah.
So they're like 45, 47. I think Edge is 47.
Yes.
It's like they're not like they could still be in a prime. Like when Triple H was like 47, he was still the WWE champion.
It's because he was the son-in-law of the Booker.
He was the Booker. But like the Rock,
there you go.
What's the Rock? 52 now? Like the Rock's like the Rock was the same type of thing. Hold on, how old's Dwayne Johnson?
The Rock's a whole nother level though of superstar in that sense. He's just transcended everything.
I'm just saying. He's 48. Okay, so The Rock is a year older, but like we would love to see. Like, did you see the man? Like, he's just. You can bring The Rock back and put WWE Championship on him. Nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, that doesn't make sense. Bring back old guys, you geezer." No, the man is like, yeah, same thing. It's all the same, and it's yeah.
The Rock is in phenomenal shape. Like, there's no doubt about it.
I'm just saying, you can't cut these like, oh, they're old. They shouldn't be in there anymore. They're only 48 years old.
Who's only 48 years old?
The Rock is the oldest guy of the people we've been talking about between The Rock, Christian, and Edge.
Oh, you mean that guy?
Yeah, that guy. And like, you cut these guys out like 48. Like, you're 48. You're dead. Like, you're not okay. Like, Ric Flair was wrestling when he was 60 and carrying matches.
Yeah.
Because he was the tag team partner with Roddy Piper, God rest his soul, but Piper was fat, out of shape, and blown up, like just getting into the ring. I remember Piper like getting to like just and like I was like, oh man, is he selling? No, he's just really tired because like he walked to the ring because it's really out of shape.
Well, I mean, Piper was blown up walking to the ring at WrestleMania 12 whenever he was going down there to face Goldust.
I think that's what I'm remembering.
It was
honestly.
rough, man. It was rough. It was rough.
Speaking of Goldust, Dustin Runnels is in AEW. He looks better than he ever has.
Listen, I'll tell you what, man.
I'm pretty sure he's older than 48 as well.
Derek, what was that first pay-per-view that we watched AEW? Was that Double or Nothing?
It was Double or Nothing, yes.
The first one ever? Man, that match with him and Cody, that thing was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like
51.
Yeah, and he's
They
still
put on
doing
a
it.
hell of a match.
And he's still doing it today, though, man. Like, you got to give him credit because he's doing it.
Yeah, that
He's
poor guy
doing it
bled
up.
big time.
Oh, yeah.
He's better than he's ever been. And that's, I mean, for him particularly, he only ever got better.
Yeah. Like a fine wine.
And that's not to say that he wasn't always good.
Oh, I love the Gold Dust gimmick, man.
Oh my God. It was when he was the Intercontinental Champion. That was like the pinnacle.
Yes.
That was my favorite thing on the card every time because he was just so over the top. He sold it so, and it was just loved it. Loved
it. He credits Savio Vega for the Gold Dust character finally like getting that breakout because he did that match with Savio and he was like, listen, you're going to go behind me. You're just going to rub your hands up my chest. That's all Savio Vega on that.
That was one of those, that was so risque at the time, but that was so like to think about it right now, like is just, I mean, if he was to do that today, people's minds would still be blown. So like the fact that it happened like 20 years ago. Or
he used to get some of the craziest like crowd chants too. Like they'd be like, screaming like, chanting derogatory, homophobic slurs at him and stuff. And like, man, that was wild.
On Sunday nights at 7:00.
Wild.
Yeah. I mean, God, what a time! What a different time.
Could you imagine something like that right now? Whew.
They'd be escorting people out.
Oh my goodness!
They'd be emptying the arena. No, you guys. You can't say that stuff now. Get out.
Oh yeah,
get out of the arena.
Guys,
never make TV.
Guys, for fuck's sake, we're arguing over the gender of a fucking plastic potato.
We're not really.
Hey, they changed it back from what I read. Now they're called it off.
No, you know what they did? Because here's the thing: is they tried to make it a very big heat topic they tried to make it clickbait on media. But what it really is they took. So what they've been doing with the Mr. Potato Head, the branding of it has been Mr. Potato Head forever. But the problem is, you know what they make the most money on in the Mr. Potato Head or the Potato Heads right now is doing like their Funko Pops, but they're potato heads. So does it make sense to put out a Scarlet Witch Mr. Potato Head, or can we just call them Potato Heads and then name them something? Because that's all they did. That's the entirety of the change. Because you could still buy Mr. Potato Head. He's just going to be a character in the Potato Head line, which makes more sense.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
it's stupid. Everybody argued about it. It's stupid. The conservatives are stupid. Everybody's stupid. Why is everybody so stupid?
It's dumb.
I'm mad that everybody's stupid. I'm not mad about fuck the potatoes. I don't give a shit.
I like potatoes.
Fucking stupid people.
I mean, I like potatoes. I don't care about potato heads. My kids don't play with them, so it doesn't matter to me. In fact, I wouldn't have been thinking about potato heads this week if idiots hadn't got mad about it. And now I'm like, well, what the fuck's up with these potato heads? Oh, they just called it potato heads? I've been calling them potato heads for years. That's not what they're called. Whatever. Everybody needs to go home.
I just assumed what they were going to do is put the Mr. and Mrs. parts both in the same box.
That'd be fine too.
Have everything in one box.
I feel like they should put like
that wasn't the case.
Like, let me make a dragon potato. That's what I want as a dragon. Like I don't want
potato dragon.
I want a fucking dragon potato head.
I didn't realize that my potato head comment was going to send us off the rails.
What about
I did learn that it used to have a real potato. You had to have a real potato to use it.
Does that exist? Can I have a Hulk Hogan potato head? It's the right color. It just needs to come with the muscly arms.
Oh shit!
And the horseshoe hair.
Yeah, no with the Hulk Hogan, like with the
Oh, with the bandana.
He's the bandana
with the yellow
hair coming out of it. That's
and the lettuce hanging out of the back.
Yeah,
that there's no underneath.
No.
Hey, so something interesting happened a couple of days ago, Derek.
What's that?
I'm real excited to see what your reaction to this is.
Okay. All right.
Enzo and Cass XL reappeared in an Impact Plus independent show.
They did. To be honest, whenever you brought up, who else looked good or who else was in shape or whatever your intro was there, in my mind, I was totally thinking like, this motherfucker did not go with Big Cass. Are you serious? Have you seen the man?
He did look good, man.
Ready to rock.
Kaz
Enzo, Kaz XL.
And he is 7 feet tall.
He is.
And you can't teach that.
Oh, cannot.
Hey, so
I will actually repurchase Impact Plus or whatever we're calling it now if I can get some EnzoCast matches on there, some newer ones. You know,
I don't want him to have matches. I just want him to talk.
Yeah, that'd be fine too.
Yeah,
I mean,
fine.
you know,
no, listen,
he had a good run whenever he was 205 Live champion.
Studs, and you can't teach that.
Listen, I would be okay watching Cass perform and just listening to Enzo. That would be fine. Like, I mean, but I did read though whenever I was kind of going down this little Enzo and Cass rabbit hole that they still have some friends in WWE, and it's not far fetched. It's not far fetched that we may see them in the near future.
I'm sure Vince respects that they kept their name in the headlines this whole time to keep themselves relevant. And shit, if he can make $1, he's going to make $1, and Vince he will gladly.
I think that I think there's money to be made there, truthfully, yep. And I think that they sort of got in their own way. And I think if they'll stop getting in their own way, that I don't think Vince would hate making money off of them again. I feel like that's really where
I think there's huge merchandise money to be made there for sure.
I mean, on the mic, I don't know that there's anybody better than the two of them as a tandem, like right now. Like, unless you were to bring back The Rock in his prime, I don't think, or like John Cena in his, like, I don't think that there's, you know, pound for pound, like at least on the mic. You know, I mean, they're like, you know, I hate to say they're Paul Heyman level, like it's not the same, but like it's like that kind of like just hype, catchphrasey type stuff, and you know, it's fun to watch. Don't hate
Hopefully they just need a little cool off time there, and a little bit of heat from the locker room, and we can get them back in WWE.
The locker room's different now.
Yeah, so you know,
but I mean, Roman Reigns is still there, and Roman Reigns was not the biggest Enzo Amore guy, because we all know that he drug Enzo off of a bus in the middle of Saudi Arabia. So
maybe
apparently he was
keep them guys on different shows.
Doesn't Roman have his own bus by now? Surely there's.
I mean, I'm sure he is the tribal chief. He probably got Jey Uso carrying him on one of those. What the hell are those called? You know, that King Corbin used there for a hot second. Is that a caravan? Is that what that's called? Something like that. Yeah.
Jey Uso definitely
rides an elephant to the ring next time.
He definitely carries Roman's bag into the arena.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt there.
Hey, so you know what else I thought was interesting this week too? So Stardom over in Japan, their 10-year anniversary show is coming up. And it's primarily a women's promotion.
It's only women's promotion.
Yeah, it's
definitely just
so one Io Shirai has been granted permission to participate in the anniversary show. Now, I bring this up because one Kairi Sane asked for permission to perform and be involved in this show, and she was denied the ability to do so. Now, everybody's going to say, well, it's two totally different things here, Walt. You know, Io Shirai sent in a video, and Kairi Sane wants to perform. Am I wrong to feel like Kairi Sane's being slighted in this situation?
Yes. Hear me out. I have a strong, not a strong opinion, but I have thoughts. So with Io's been like itching and inkling of a leave, of a return to Japan. However, Io Shirai to NXT, the NXT audience, and there's a niche brand, obviously, that AEW is trying to capitalize on, of just basically Asian performers. Asian women, particularly performing in wrestling, because they're good. There's a lot of really good Asian women who wrestle. I feel like that was sort of the first. They were sort of the first to like sort of also embrace that and it all kind of came up at the same time. So there's a level of fandom there that an American wrestling promotion really needs to take hold of and understand that exists. They did it obviously with Asuka for a long time. I mean, clearly Asuka's still a champion. Like she still makes the money enough, or still is seen as marketable enough to like have a title left on her. Like she's been a champion, a top champion for more than half of her tenure in the WWE. And Io Shirai wanting to leave with her being the top of the women's division right now for such a long time is sort of a thing where they don't really want to rock the boat. And her approach of like, well, I just want to send a video, because obviously she can't travel to Japan right now in the middle of the pandemic to perform. Like she can't travel to Japan, but I just want to cut a video and I want to send a video. They don't want to make Io upset. They don't want to tell Io no and have her just be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm out of here. Forget you guys. I'm going back to Japan. You paid me enough money. I can make enough money going to Japan. This isn't worth it for me anymore. They don't want to make it not worth Io's time anymore. And I feel like this is the kind of thing that she could see as the straw that breaks the camel's back. So the fact that they aren't doesn't surprise me at all. Now, to Kairi Sane, with Kairi, I feel like there's this level of like, well, she's in Japan right now. Like she left WWE on very good terms, but she wanted to go home. She was homesick. And I understand that. I feel for that. But WWE, if she's under WWE contract, which she clearly is, and she's still getting paid to just be at home in Japan, which is where she wants to be, you know, they told, look, you know, you're still under our contract. You can't, you just can't, like, that's a conflict of interest for them. Io sending a video both doesn't rock the boat with Io and doesn't put Io in any kind of like storyline or anything, because the truth of the matter is WWE doesn't really have any control over anybody who's outside of the country. So the worst thing they could do to Kairi Sane is fire her. She could totally still do this, but they would fire her and take her money away. But they're still paying her, so she can't perform. If she did perform and just was like, well, you can't stop me. I'm in Japan. You're in America. What are you going to do? Well, we'll stop paying you. And obviously there's that. But with Io, they want to keep her happy because she still performs for them, whereas Kairi doesn't.
I don't know. I just think that, like, you know, this is somebody that you've obviously invested a lot of money in, and you believe that she's going to turn around and come back once she's had some time to kind of be with her family and do her thing and just really enjoy, you know, a little bit of time with her husband and this and that and the other. And why would you not want to offer her, you know, allow her the opportunity to kind of get out there and perform a little bit, even if it's just one match or one performance, you know, or one appearance. Like, it doesn't even have to be a match, just to like get in front of some people, get in the ring, you know, and then maybe get those juices flowing again and be like, hey, I'm ready to go back to the United States and I'm ready to get back into the ring and get my career with WWE back in the right direction. I think that I understand the conflict of interest piece, you know, as far as being under contract and this and that and the other. And we talk about it week in and week out with the AEW situation, how they've got, you know, all their talent appearing in all these different programs, and how, you know, it's kind of become a little chaotic almost, you know, and it's almost like it's similar in the sense of, you know, you're contracted to WWE solely, and we don't want you to perform for other people because we don't want other people to think that we're following that model. But at the same point in time, I think that a talent like Kairi Sane should have the opportunity to kind of just do a little one-off and then see where you go from there. Because like I said, this might be something as simple as, let's get the juices flowing and let's get back in the ring for WWE.
Potentially some negotiation maybe should have happened. And I'm not saying that what is happening with Kairi is wrong, or is right, rather. I do think that there's a level of, with Kairi particularly, it's a risk-reward thing, and you have to remember that Vince McMahon is still a dick. So it depends on who was on that phone call. It depends on who she called first. Did she call Vince? Did she call Triple H? Was Vince in the room when she called Triple H? There's all these. And what was the angle that was pitched? Hey, I want to have a match on the show. Or was it, hey, I want to appear, I want to cut a little promo, I want to wave at everybody and say hi, thank you, goodbye. Or it was, no, I want to have a match, I want to have an angle, I want to do the insane elbow, I want to do this, that, and the other. I don't have enough information to say who was being a jerk and who was asking for too much and what was yes, what was no. But at the same time, it's like she's not within a level of where they can control her. Like with Io Shirai, like I'm sure she was like, hey, I want to cut a video thing for this, and WWE was probably like, all right, we'll have our editors there and we'll shoot the video and then we can send it. Whereas with Kyrie, it's like she's like, I'm gonna be there in person and I'm gonna do whatever. And it's like I know that like Vince particularly has control issues. And I think that's probably the line is that, like, WWE can control Io Shirai, control the product of Io Shirai, whereas with Kyrie saying there's no control there of like, hey, I want to go. Can I go? Oh, no? Oh, okay. So maybe that's what it was.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of felt like maybe they were slighting Kairi Sane a little bit there. But I mean, that's my opinion. So
it's possible, but I don't know.
Hey, and since we're still talking about this, Tom, you had the last couple of weeks we've been talking about Shinsuke Nakamura a little bit here and there, and one of the things that you had alluded to in past weeks was Shinsuke's just enjoying things, living his best life, getting to surf and working kind of a safer style, not so taxing on his body, and somebody had actually tweeted that to Shinsuke this past week. Hey, you living the good life. You get to surf and hang out, and you're working a little bit of a safer style, and you should be real happy in WWE. And Shinsuke replied to this tweet and said, "Who said I'm happy?" So the question is
he a heel right now on TV?
No, he is not.
No,
he is being pushed as a mega baby face right now.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's weird. I liked him better as a heel.
See,
I don't know.
And they gave him his music back a couple weeks ago, like we'd mentioned before. So this could be, maybe we're gonna see something. Maybe we're trying to appease Shinsuke Nakamura a little bit. Possibly.
I do think there's a level of appeasement that needs to happen with Shinsuke when it comes around. Yeah, so I think for a long time there was a level of like complacency with Shinsuke, whereas that he was getting paid and he was sort of getting to not get hurt. And I mean, he's been an Iron Man now for quite a while. He hasn't been out hurt for a while.
Yeah, he's been fine.
Really, for a man of what is
he was so freaking over in NXT whenever he was first around, man. He was huge in NXT. People would go nuts. And then they bring him up to the top card and he's got nothing.
I mean, they brought him
Vince
up.
Has nothing for it.
41. Okay. So he had a long feud with AJ Styles that I don't feel like paid off as well as I wish it would have.
No, I feel like they had some great matches in Japan, and then they wanted to capitalize on that over here, and they just didn't have that spark anymore. I guess
it just didn't work. Whether it was Shinsuke or whether it was AJ, I'm not real sure. I feel like that Shinsuke's done a lot better not against AJ than he did. He's like the only person in WWE who's like had way better matches not against AJ. I feel like they made it all about like getting like punched in the balls. with the AJ feud, but no, I mean I don't know. I guess if he's not happy, if he wants to be like pushed to the moon again, I mean he's the right guy to do it. I mean he's
Cameron Grimes.
Man, since you randomly said that, I have to actually tell you guys because I was thinking about this earlier. I shit on him so hard whenever it was the Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Haunted House of Terror match.
That was terrible. That's why.
But I shit on him as a human, as a shitty gimmick, a shitty performer. I was not into it at all.
You were wrong because he'd done a lot of good things before.
I'm trying to admit I'm wrong here, man.
Okay, good. Keep it going.
Man, you seem to have to be doing that a lot these days, huh, Derek?
Hold on, where's that crow? You got some crow? You gonna eat that?
Yeah. Some
When I get some
humble
crow
pie.
gummy bears, that way it won't be so bad.
Get some.
No, man, I'm loving some Cameron Grimes gimmick anymore, man. The stuff he's got going on. Yeah, you told me. I know.
Good.
Dude is a future WWE champion. Faux show.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
The whole Ted DiBiase thing with the basketball this week.
Oh, it's hilarious that he's going around like a rich guy that got a ton of stock off of GameStop. That's great. It is hilarious.
I couldn't get that. Had that been live and had I been in that crowd, that would have popped me so hard.
Oh yeah.
I would have screamed. Like that is so much money. That is so gold for me.
Really can't wait till we can get the crowd back and actually hear the crowd that pop to what they want.
Hey, WrestleMania is right around the corner, pal.
Yes, sir. But I mean, I've been hot on Cameron Grimes for whatever since he debuted.
Yeah.
Look, the cave-in, especially like his first 5-6 matches were basically squash matches, and he just out of nowhere would cave people in. But I just love his moveset. It's like he fights like he's drunk. It's great. He looks that way. I love all of it. I am in. I'm 100% in. I feel like his promos are good. When they made him a coward, I kind of didn't like that.
It pissed me off.
I was like, to me, he was like dangerous and like kind of unhinged and like sort of yeehaw. Like, I'm going to blow myself up, hold my beer. Like that to me is like, that to me was exciting. And when he became like afraid for his life, like, what do you mean you're afraid for your life? Like, yeehaw, hold my beer. Like, don't be afraid of this weird zombie man. And it was not that to me, that was a down. That I think we'll look back on that as like, well, that was one of the downsides of his career. But like literally everything other than that has been like,
all these other points along the way have been great.
Yeah, it's just that one thing.
Anything away from Dexter Lumis because I also enjoyed him, but
I feel like he's sort of like a Dementor. Like the way that his gimmick works is that like he sucks the life out of whatever anybody else's gimmick is, and the in-ring matches aren't good because there has to be that level of like, I'm afraid of you, where it's like it's like the Undertaker but worse. In a way.
I can see that.
At least with what they're doing right now, with the way it kind of gets pushed off, not onto Johnny, but instead now onto Austin Theory, and so that way he doesn't have to take the
Austin Theory though.
That thing with Indy Hartwell this week was funny too. I think he's kind of hot.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Candace is
the way
Candace goes,
segments
what
are just fantastic.
Well, that was funny.
Yeah, I mean Johnny's like.
There's a level.
Good stuff.
I think they're looking for a balance. They clearly know that what they did with Cameron Grimes was just wrong. And they're like, we can't do this because this didn't. Nobody came off better. Neither Dexter Lumis nor Cameron Grimes did. So we got to like make this better so that. And I feel like with the way it's a better package because one, like you can have them sort of have that. A little bit more of that dynamic, whereas Cameron Grimes is just so over the top with everything. You can't have him be over the top afraid. But like if Johnny is just cautious afraid, because like that's Johnny's character, like a very cautious, calculating, like
very calculated type guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like if it's cautious, calculated, as opposed to cautious, like Scooby Doo and Shaggy run away. Scooby Dooby Doo, and that's really what it was. And it's a better shift because you can't do that like Scooby-Doo ghost scare thing. It's just not. It buries something.
I'm with you on that.
Kind of makes everybody look dumb because even then you take them. And it was old man Cameron, and it was old man, Loomis the whole time.
Yeah.
Hey, so while we're living overseas in Japan, some big news coming out of New Japan Pro Wrestling this week.
Disappointing news.
The IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the IWGP Intercontinental Championship has been unified. Look at those
Yep.
things, man. Those things are gorgeous.
They're
They
fine.
are. They're fantastic.
Those are the two best
That white
wrestling belts.
Intercontinental is just
Yeah, I do like
amazing.
the White
Amazing.
So I don't follow too terrible much New Japan.
No, you don't have to though to appreciate the perfectness of what they are giving. They're just
like
throwing it away.
I like the white leather on the belts anyway. I mean, it doesn't really matter whether it says IWGP or what. I like the white leather on the belts. I think it looks
good. It's a good look. Those are some beautiful titles. I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting though because one of the big things that's been kind of getting thrown around here. Jay White threw a little bit of shade at Ibushi this week. He's like, hey, this guy wanted to be a double champion, and then whenever they're asking him to defend both champions, now he's going to run and hide, and he wants them to unify the championship. I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of keep it going a little bit. I don't know. It's interesting because they're going to hand Ibushi the new IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, as it will now be called, right before their next big show, Sakura Genesis 4. They're going to just hand him this new championship and kind of allow him to just defend it right there on that show. I thought it was really interesting, though. You know who the first IWGP Intercontinental Champion was for New Japan back in 2011? Any guesses, guys? Go ahead, Derek.
Who is Kenny Omega?
Tom?
You're going to say this, and I'm going to be like, oh, yeah.
Nah, I think I'm going to shock you.
All right, go ahead.
Montavious Vontel Porter, MVP.
Wow.
Actually, I knew
that.
That's what I was thinking about. I was like, oh, was it MVP?
Yeah, he won a tournament in 2011. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's good stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of heritage. There's a lot of heritage behind the current version of the New Japan IWGP heavyweight championship or world championship, whatever it is. AJ Styles carried that belt. That's the belt that Nakamura carried. Brock Lesnar carried that particular belt. A lot of
about Brock.
Yeah, a lot of big time guys carried that belt. And
I'll be the first to admit I'm not like a belt mark like yourself, but it's a good looking belt.
It is a good
looking
belt.
The history is what it is. Fortunately, it's a good history for it. But
MVP,
if I'm walking into the room, that's one that I want to pick up and gravitate to first, for sure.
I do feel like MVP was probably one of the most underrated talents in the last, 10, 15 years. Because, the man really did a lot. And his promos, his old promos, his new promos, everything he's done lately and before, it really, everything he touched kind of turned to gold, but it just never materialized to, top tier gold, which is sort of not, maybe everything he touched turned to silver. It's man, I feel like that was a guy that just, he was always there. He was always knocking on the door. It never materialized.
Yeah.
Man,
I feel like he's better now than he was back in his prime days. Really, to be honest with you, he's having a little renaissance here, it seems.
He defined the mid card for 10 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Part. He was mid card. He held all those titles. He was in those title pictures. Obviously, being the Intercontinental Champion in New Japan, but at the same time, he's one of the iconic U.S. champions. And
that's what I was just getting ready to say. When you think of the United States champion, two people come to mind: John Cena and MVP.
He's iconic with that. That belt is his, and he's held it again recently. Just purely based on his icon status with it. And I really do think that MVP is one of the guys that I'm really. I've said it on here a ton of times. I love the Hurt Business. I love what's happening right now with the Hurt Business. I really like that Bobby Lashley has MVP as a mouthpiece because I feel like that really fits. Because Bobby Lashley's not terrible on the mic. He's fine. But he needs somebody who can like just step in and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, and that's what MVP is. And MVP can still go. He's not that old. He's only like whatever. He's mid-40s.
Yeah, mid-40s.
Yeah, so I mean he can still go a little bit. I mean, you can't beat the shit out of the man every night, but you know, you can have him go once, twice a month, and it's not a big deal. And,
yeah, I mean, the whole time that he's been off of WWE TV, he was out on the indie scene anyway. Actually, you know, performing matches week in, week out. So he's fine apparently.
I had heard today on one of the podcasts I was listening to coming home from Tom's house that somebody compared the Bobby Lashley MVP thing to Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, except Lashley can cut a promo.
You know what though? Brock's promos aren't bad.
They're not bad. No.
When Brock gets mad about something, when Brock's invested, that's really the key, is whether or not Brock's invested, and that's a bar that's higher than like Bobby Lashley can do it regardless.
Right.
Yeah, he's fine. But his eyebrows distract me.
Lack of eyebrows. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. Look, I don't disagree. It's weird. Like when he first came back, he was wearing the headbands, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then he like didn't wear it for a minute. I'm like, whoa, he doesn't have eyebrows.
Yeah. Well, last Monday they were painted on. It's like they weren't straight.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird. No, I'm not. I'm.
Do you not have a guy in the back that puts that shit on straight for you? I mean, you should have a face mold. I'm sure.
Get a protractor. Come on.
Shit.
Hey, so right now, while we're
you measure the angle.
Right now while we're recording, Monday Night Raw's on, and what's the chances that Bobby Lashley walks away tonight as the WWE champion?
Slim to none. Not yet.
80%. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think that it's going to end up in a disqualification. I do think that Morrison's going to get involved, and like Bobby Lashley's going to kill both of them.
Yes.
And like Lashley's going to come out looking strong. Morrison and The Miz are going to be laying in the middle of the ring, but due to disqualification, Bobby Lashley's going to lose the match, or Bobby Lashley's going to win the match, but not win the title.
Exactly.
That being said, I do think Bobby wins it probably next week. Or week after that.
Fastlane, maybe.
I don't even know if it'd go that long. He might defend it at fast. So here's what I think might happen. I think that he might win it next week, defend it against the Miz at Fastlane, because although the like automatic rematch clause doesn't apply, it does. And I think he'll beat the Miz at Fastlane in probably kind of a match that mirrors the match that happens tonight, but it'll be no disqualification. And, he'll fend off both Miz and Morrison, retain the title, and then Drew will come out, Claymore him, and be like, I'll see you at WrestleMania.
For sure. That's definitely going to happen.
I think Drew loses at WrestleMania, though. I don't think he wins his rematch.
I don't think.
They want Drew. Look, Drew has carried Raw on his back. Like the man would need back surgery just due to the overwhelming amount of strain the man has put on his back.
Sure. To
carry it through this pandemic and getting sick himself. And he wasn't like super easy sick where it was like, oh, I'm just not asymptomatic. Like, no, he had fatigue, he had cough, he obviously he's in phenomenal shape. So like he's a young guy, he's younger than we are, and he was able to come through it. Good for him. But the man lost 18 pounds?
Yeah, something like
which is like unheard of. Not unheard of, but it's like that sucks. Like, shit. So he was sick. He was 18 pounds. You're sick.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm just saying he's had a really long run here lately. He's had the belt on him, off of him a couple times. I don't think they're going to make the change to him again.
No, I do.
They got to let him take some time away from the belt for a minute.
Wholly disagree. And I think that this whole angle with the Miz is to give Drew his moment in front of a crowd. And I think he's been denied that particularly after carrying the whole company on his, but like the whole Raw brand on his back, on his shoulders for an entire year, the hardest year in like. Look, every segment that Drew was a part of was good during a year where they were really grasping at straws, and a lot of those shows were not good except for the Drew parts. And I mean, I really think that he kind of maintained that level of like WWE is important, the WWE title is important, and I'm the WWE champion. He maintained that for the hardest period of time that I can ever think of. And so I really think they want to give him his WrestleMania moment and have him win the title at the big show
with people in attendance.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, so
I'll be
guys,
honest, I didn't really think Drew was the bee's knees that whole time, but there's not really anybody else that would be like, that's who they should have put the title on, though. So I guess I got to go with you on this.
Drew was phenomenal.
hey guys, one more thing I want to touch on before we get into match of the week, just real quick. So we've gotten a couple weeks in a row now. Seth Rollins has returned to WWE TV. Do we feel like maybe WWE missed an opportunity to completely repackage Rollins, or are we okay with this like halfway repackaging of the Monday Night Messiah into this like businessman scheme artist guy? Like he's like a little con artist now, you know, like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm into it. I'm into it with Cesaro because I think it's gonna work with Cesaro, but I think anything beyond Cesaro, I don't know that this has longevity.
To be honest, I miss Buddy Murphy, and I bet you he is sitting at home thinking to himself, why did he have to go and get her pregnant? Because now I'm stuck sitting in catering doing nothing ever. I've got kayfabe Rey Mysterio's daughter as my girlfriend, who's like 10 years younger than me. That's fun. And, you know, I'm off TV. There's no prospects in sight. Sitting over here with, you know, baked steak and Aleister Black. Sucks. It's a bad spot to be put in.
Did you call him Aleister?
Aleister Black, yeah.
You call him Aleister.
That's where I'm from, man. I don't know. How you want me to say? You tell me.
Aleister. It's Aleister.
Aleister?
They called him Aleister after.
Put some cue cards in front of me with the little accent marks on what to.
Have you never?
What's
Do
it
you
say
know
there?
have you ever heard of Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah, Azzy?
Mr. Crowley. Anyway, Aleister Crowley was a very famous Satanist who wrote a lot of books about Satanism. And you should really look into that because, anyway.
With that.
Well, I'm going to half agree with you. And I'm also going to half put myself over. I love Seth Rollins in every form, in any form. And you can give me Seth Rollins one day a week, every week, and I'm going to watch that segment because I really like Seth Rollins. I like what he's doing. I always like what he does. I love his matches. Put him on TV every week. Put him on TV till he can't go on TV anymore because the man is phenomenal. I was very happy to hear about him and Becky and they're having a baby. I totally understood him being off TV for a while. I understood Becky not being off TV for a while. I'm super happy that he's back on TV. And oh my God, they put him back on TV. Now he's in a program with Cesaro. Have I died and gone to heaven? Is it Christmas?
I'm really looking forward to when these two finally get in the ring together.
First of all, I don't hate the gimmick. It could work. It might not work. However, right before WrestleMania, this whole thing with Cesaro, let's do that. That's fine. Look, you can't put Seth and Roman on the same show. They're the stars. I mean, you got Edge. He's floating around, but now Edge is going to fight Roman. This can all build up to and through WrestleMania. Let Seth and Cesaro. This was probably Seth's idea. Honestly, I want to come back. Let me fight with Cesaro after WrestleMania.
I mean, they're good friends. They do the whole CrossFit together and all that good stuff.
Right. After WrestleMania, put Seth back on Raw. Change the character, make him baby. Maybe can do something else, make him a baby face, whatever. But between now and WrestleMania, if it's like, let me just have great matches with Cesaro between now in WrestleMania and put us on the card for WrestleMania, maybe with Big E and a Universal and an Intercontinental title match in there. Put Cesaro over. I'll go to Raw. It'll all be good. It'll be good matches. That's what I want to see. Whatever's happening right now, when I watch all of it happen, I'm like, there are so many potential ways this could go really, really, really well and like produce a lot of matches that I want to watch with my eyeballs that like I'm totally down for it. And then post WrestleMania, when everything gets shooken up again and you put Roman on one brand and Seth on another brand, because that's going to happen because they're top guys who really shouldn't be top guys against each other, but you can't really do that anymore. You put Seth on one, Roman on the other. There'll be those feuds. Look, Seth versus Drew next year will be great. It really will be. That hasn't been a thing yet because Seth was going out and they were, God, I feel for you, Derek. I feel for Buddy Murphy too. I really, really wish better things happened for Buddy Murphy. I feel like he got caught up in a thing and then that kind of like fizzled out and God, you know, WWE creative is not creative. I mean, let's face it. Like a lot of it just is like when the top talent is like, I want this to happen. And I'm sure that's what happened. I'm sure that's why Buddy Murphy got pulled up. I'm sure Seth was like, I like this Buddy Murphy guy. Give me him. And that just worked out.
And then the poor guy gets turned into a half creepy guy. And
I mean, he got sucked into a thing where like Seth had to go because of family things, and like that pool of like the other one of the like few very top guys that have pool gets pulled away due to family things, and Buddy got sucked into the thing. I mean, I hope for his resurrection at some point, but
you know what is insane about that whole situation though, really? We saw a Dominic Rey Mysterio match over the week or this past week. Dominic is still on TV.
Yeah,
Dominic is still on TV.
He's doing the job for everybody right now.
Murphy. That's it's
Ray's
do
one
the
of the
job in
they're doing
well, I guess they don't have house
doing the job, dude.
I was gonna say do it at a house show, but I guess they don't have those because now everything's on TV. But I mean, that's just crazy. It makes no sense.
Ray's got
I
cool,
don't
and Ray probably doesn't. Ray probably
sucks.
Isn't the biggest Buddy fan, and that sucks. But
that's his son-in-law. He better get over it.
Oh shit! All right, guys, let's wind it down. Match of the week, as always, Tom.
Okay, I only have one, and it was clearly the match of the week for me. So Pretty Ricky, Mr. Ricochet, faced off against AJ Styles yet again, and it was, shall we say, phenomenal. It was. AJ went over Ricochet, but it was a non-title match. Almost got involved. It was good. It was good. It was great. It was really good. It was the most. It was really fun. It was exciting. And if you haven't watched it, you should go back and watch it because it was fun. It was exciting. There was some good grappling. There was some good wrestling. I really feel like AJ and Ricochet really play off of each other really well because Ricochet can do anything. And he sells
for sure
now. And AJ is the. I'm going to say this might piss people off. AJ is the Bret Hart of this generation, except he's kind of better because most of his matches are better, regardless of who his opponent is. AJ has, and especially if you put AJ with someone like Ricochet, who can kind of do anything. Okay, Walt, I see you making faces at me here. But look, AJ's phenomenal. Bret was the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, but he was wrong because
he wasn't, and he was an asshole. At least AJ is, a decent person and doesn't make up just crazy wild stories after everything's all said and done and just completely misremembers his entire history.
Let's go with this because I'll fight you. Go ahead.
I need you to elaborate on that statement.
What statement?
How do you compare the two?
how do I compare the two?
Yeah.
God, AJ's in-ring ability, AJ's lack of botches, AJ's just crisp. That to me is parallel with Bret Hart, because Bret's in-ring performance was overall, for the most part, very, very crisp, very clean, to the point, didn't miss spots, anything like that. AJ is the epitome of that. However, where AJ shines, where Bret did not, is that AJ not only could pull great matches out of people he shouldn't be pulling great matches out of, Bret could do this to a point, but where AJ does it is AJ just shines. AJ will overshine the match while still in ring calling the match. And on top of that, AJ can take a match that AJ can take a mistake and not show any, like, that was Bret's biggest downfall, in my opinion, is that Bret would, if somebody botched something, Bret would be immediately frustrated by it. And AJ is better on the mic than Bret.
But I thought he was the best there is and the best there was and the best there ever will be, though.
He's not the best there ever will be. He's the best there is and the best there was at the time. However, he'd never met AJ Styles. I would pay money to watch Bret Hart in his prime versus AJ Styles in his prime, though.
Holograms. That's what we need.
Money.
Bret Hart versus AJ in a hologram.
Cold hard cash. Give me a time machine.
I'm not going to disagree with you that AJ Styles and Ricochet put together some of the best matches that in the past couple of years, especially over that U.S. title. Those two were like peanut butter and jelly. However, I like AJ Styles just as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to let you drag the goddamn good name of the Hitman through the mud by saying that he got frustrated when people fuck shit up.
He did. He talked about it. He brought it up.
A dick.
I'm just saying.
He got frustrated and took right it. It stuck in his craw for decades. Not only stick in his craw for decades, he would make the face in the ring. He would, and then he would call it. Look, the fact the mics were shittier back then and we couldn't hear Bret say, "Do it right this time, you piece of shit," isn't like that doesn't. It's a different era. Also, to be fair to Bret, his competitors were way more bodybuilders than they were professional wrestlers, especially when one of the best matches that he ever called, and this is his words, was him versus the British Bulldog, where British Bulldog came in and forgot everything was supposed to happen in that match. And Bret called it in the ring. Now, it was a good match because Bulldog could kind of do whatever, and Bret could call it out to him. Also, none of that was mic'd. So you couldn't hear the mics in the floorboards because they just weren't really there. It was a different era. It was a different time. It was a different level of but had you heard that match called in the ring the way you would hear it right now, it would have been and sounded completely different. And it would have been one of those things where it sounded like a complete, pro walking an amateur through something. And I think that's really the difference here, is that where that's stuck in Bret's craw. And you could see, if you go back and watch that match now, after knowing that, you go back and watch that match now, you see Bret's facial expressions. At the time, you thought, oh, well, he was, just exasperated with what's going on at the time, with what's going on in the match. But knowing that now and going back, and had you heard what was going on in the ring with him calling it as heavily as he did, it would have been one of those things where you'd have been Bulldog fucked up and Bret was mad at him. Called him a dumbass a lot. Was mean to him. And it just wasn't banter. It was high spot now. Backflip now. Monkey flip now. That kind of thing.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Are you done shitting on my childhood hero?
Look, I love Bret Hart. I beat WWE Raw, the hard one where you had to put in the Mortal Kombat type moves. I'm good at Mortal Kombat too. With Bret Hart like 1,000 times. And yeah, no, Bret Hart's great, but AJ is the next level of Bret Hart.
Derek, match of the week.
All right, so first off, I promise next week, this is going to be hard for me because the AEW pay-per-view is coming up. I will not pick an AEW match because I feel like
you don't have to not.
But you guys, I get a lot of shit because I pick a lot of their matches.
Is Joey Janela on the pay-per-view?
I hope not. I don't want to talk about him next week. I want to get that timer going.
The cardboard.
We got to get a new record going.
No, there's no record. You already mapped it up. So is there Joey Janela versus like some jabroni for the cardboard AEW championship?
No, the big thing for that's going to be that death match coming up, man. I'm pumped for the death match. I am part of the the death match loving community portion of wrestling. I'm all for it. I'm definitely down. I cannot wait. I will gladly step up and spend my money on that. But for match of the week, it's going to be the main event of Dynamite last week, which was Lance Archer and Rey Fenix. Put on a heck of a show there. A little flippy-do, a little whatnot. There was a tightrope spot. And to be honest with you, going into that, I was thinking this is kind of a clash of styles. It worked well whenever they were a tag team. We got to see, the big man style and the amazing Rey Fenix lucha style. But obviously they went head to head this past week. I thought for sure the styles would be kind of weird. Turned out great. It's a good match. I'm glad to see that Lance Archer actually came out with the win on that. Surprised me. Did not think that was going to happen. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to actually see him get to do something. I'm still not behind Jake the Snake being there with him. I think that's just dumb. Jake doesn't bring anything to the table. Same with Arn and Cody. He doesn't bring anything to the table for me at all.
They have like an over-reliance on managers that just doesn't seem to make sense.
Yeah, they just don't even do anything. It's not like Jimmy Hart's out there, screaming and going nuts and getting people all riled up. It's dumb. But yeah, I was glad to see Lord Lance Archer get a W there and actually move up. I want big things for him.
Can Lance Archer?
He came out huge, and then what's up?
Can Lance Archer talk?
Yeah. Walt's got it. It's kind of
he looks good. Like he's got a good look.
So I feel like his talking has gotten better. He's talked more recently.
So then why do they need? I mean, look, I'm not saying I don't like Jake the Snake. I do like Jake the Snake. I loved him when I was a kid. Like even as somebody who was a total mark as like an 8-year-old, because like even like Jake the Snake at that time, he was like, that guy's fucking cool. Even though he was the bad guy, I was like, that guy's awesome. What a cool dude.
It's just rough for him. It's rough watching him. You can tell it hurts to get around and move around.
You know what?
He's got some aches and pains
with him kind of lately. And he actually seems like it's not like yeah, he's got some old school injuries. That's kind of why he walks the way he does.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like he says he feels good, and he's like, no, this is fine, and it's just life has taken its toll on him, and it's he's not hurting, he just sounds and looks terrible. But you live as hard as he does, we should all be so lucky to look as good as he does. And he did say that he wants to be around a long time to watch his grandchildren because he's an old man. The fact that Jake the Snake Roberts lived to be an old man and Rowdy Roddy Piper did not is like kind of shocking to me.
Truth.
Yep. Well, Walt, what do you got for us?
I guess that leaves me, huh? So this week, I kind of went with a little Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan on Friday Night SmackDown.
That was good.
I wasn't a big fan of the finish. I could have done without that. I'd like to have seen like a proper finish, but I understand why they did what they did, because they're going to try to milk this Daniel Bryan thing for as long as they can. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we're going to continue to see that moving forward. And I think we're going to get some sort of title match at Fastlane between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. But Jey Uso, man, continues to week in and week out be the measuring stick on Friday Night SmackDown. Like, the role that guy has been thrown into as, a quote unquote tag team guy to becoming I'm gonna get him main event Jey Uso has been just the greatest thing I think that we've been able to take out of this Roman Reigns storyline. Because that guy can just get in that ring and he just goes, and he is the Smokey to Roman Reigns Debo. And I know I've said that before, but it continues to hold true. And you know what I really like? And then I like that, like, they're getting us to invest in this whole Daniel Bryan thing by keeping Edge involved in this entire storyline. And that's making it a lot of fun.
I want to point out too with Jay, a lot of what they've with Jay is that just he seems to have like an unlimited amount of energy, and like I don't know that I've ever seen Jey Uso blown up, and that to me, especially with the style that he works, the man just goes and is like, I hit a move, now I'm gonna hit a move, now I'm gonna hit another move, now I'm gonna hit a move, now I'm gonna hit a third move, now I'm gonna hit a fourth move, now I'm fifth move, and it's just like he gets on a roll, and it's just like he's never. His cardio just seems to be insane, and I really, I watch a lot of wrestling, clearly, and to just watch somebody go like that and be like, just not like both do like athletic things and like lift things. Like he does a lot of like, because he's not a little man. Like he does a lot of like he can lift and he does a lot of slams and a lot of that type of stuff too, where he's like lifting his opponent. And then he jumps, and then there's a lot of running, and it's just the man is the total package of just like a chain of moves. And the fact that he can do that both with his brother and without his brother, to me, is just sort of one of those like unsung like things that like you watch wrestling for long enough, you realize that some guys are special, and Jay is special in that regard. Whereas that there's no build up between what he's doing, because it's not huge things. It's a flurry. It's a combo. And he does a combo of stuff just particularly well. And his cardio is so good that it's just seamless and smooth. And God, it's a spectacle to watch. It really is.
Yeah. A lot of fun. I'm really enjoying all of that. Well, guys, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap us up, huh?
I think it was a good show.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun today.
What are you calling this one?
I don't know. We'll figure that out.
The big show is the big show on AEW.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
We'll be the big show.
Paul Wight is the big show on AEW.
Yeah, we'll talk about it here. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
We'll tickle the ivories.
All right. Well, with all that being said, thank you all so much for your support. We continue to just love to get together here every week and do this for you. We're having a lot of fun.
We actually do like each other.
Yeah.
I mean, just off camera,
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. We had a lot of fun today. So check us out on social media, Instagram and Twitter at @1_fall WC. That is ONE. Check us out on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, you know that we exist. Please like and subscribe.
Is it in the comments? Is it down below?
It is down below.
In the
the description? Yeah, all that's in there.
The read more button. You got to hit the read more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the guys will tell you to ring the bell.
Ring it.
You know what I'm saying? So ring the bell. We're not obnoxious with it, I promise. I mean, I can be, but I haven't been. No,
we're really good. We don't put anything in the beginning. We just run straight into it.
Yeah, we just have at it. Yeah. And also, if you're into some yo-yo life, go check out Tom over at Throws and Brews on his little YouTube channel. he's doing big things over there. Hey, thanks for the sticker, pal. I appreciated the sticker today.
I opened the yo-yo while you were here.
Yeah, you did. It was awesome. It was awesome.
That's what happened. Like you saw, you were here.
Yeah,
dude, I missed so much today. Damn it!
Oh, this came from out of the country.
Yeah,
it's not even spelled. It's like manufacturer, but like spelled in like German.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's out of
pretty cool.
That's
damn.
It's special. I had more stickers. I'd have gave you one too if you were here.
Yeah, but you
gave one. Like give this.
Whatever. Tom and I are gonna go out for coffee then next week.
You have to
Fuck
come.
you.
All right, I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next week.
That's it. We'll see you guys next week. Hey, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. Catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast.
One Fall.